How's it going, guys? I'm here with an unboxing video, and today we're going to be looking at the 8BitDo SF30 Pro Bluetooth gamepad. And for a while I held off on getting this controller, even though I was lusting after it. I mean, this is a almost perfect looking replica of the Super Nintendo controller, more specifically the Super Famicom controller with the colorful buttons. But you could get the one from them that has the normal like a US version. This is like the European Japanese version for Super Nintendo, the Famicom. That's the way how they made it look. But you could get it with like the blue and gray buttons, but I didn't want that one because first of all, it doesn't really look as much like the Super Nintendo controller. They have the start and select buttons horizontal, and you don't. If anyone who plays Super Nintendo knows that's not how one of those controllers look. They look quite a bit different than that. They are like this. They're diagonal, and so it's really nice that this is a alternative here for Switch users, people that are not happy with the current variety of controllers. And I'm not really opposed to the controls. A lot of people have complained. Now, when I first got the system, within the first 2 months, I was like, I need to change my controller. I can't play with the Joy-Cons attached anymore. I need something where I can plug a wire into. I just need something a bit more dedicated. So I was thinking about getting the Pro controller. I was like, $70. Let me just say, the Pro controller is ridiculous. Controllers have always been expensive to get extra ones. But I feel like if they're not going to include a really dedicated great controller for you to use, they should probably ease up on the price. There's no reason why a controller needs to be more than $50. This I paid $45 for, $44.99, free shipping on Amazon. So it's kind of a no-brainer, especially if you're not a big fan of the Pro controller. But this is what I've been using, and I think I might have shown this before in another video, but I've been using the Power A controller, and this is the Breath of the Wild one. They sell a bunch of these that are all very similar. Now, you could get the ones, I think, that have the rumble feature, and this does not. I only paid, I believe, $27.99, maybe $29.99 for this one in Best Buy. Do not pay any more than that. This has no rumble feature, which for certain Switch games is a big no-no, because it actually will stop you from doing certain things in certain games. It also has no motion control sensors in it, so it's just basically you get the gamepad and that's it. Now, one of the big complaints about this controller is, now first things first, you notice that it looks almost exactly like the Pro controller, but it's technically not. People on Amazon have complained that this controller gets the thumbstick stuck. Now, this happened actually, believe it or not, I'm not even kidding when I'm telling you this, the first time I experienced it was after I ordered this controller, and I was holding it off because I was happy with this controller until I was like, you know what, I need to get something better. And at first I thought that this controller was only for retro games. I didn't realize that they had the L2 buttons. I thought that they only had 2 shoulder buttons, so I was like, oh, that's only good for retro games. I need to have the triggers. It turns out they turned the triggers into shoulder buttons, so I'll see how that works out because I haven't used it yet. This is an unboxing video, not a full-fledged review of the controller. I might do a separate video of that, or mention in another upcoming video. But this is a good controller if you really are low on budget and really don't feel like getting any other type of controller. This is the cheapest, best option you could come across. And the thumbsticks might give you a problem. It seems like quite a few people have complained about that, but it's a pretty highly rated controller. It's like 4 out of 5 stars still. More positive experiences than negative. Now, the only thing about this, and it's the same thing on the Pro controller, the D-pad is just, it's been like this for the longest time. They have not had a good D-pad since, I'll say, the GameCube. The N64 one was pretty good, but you know, the GameCube one was too tiny. This one is just in a weird spot. There's just no way that this feels good. It just also feels very clunky. It's very inaccurate. And it's really hilarious that I actually heard someone mention this in a Mike Matei stream. How could the makers of the D-pad, which is in fact Nintendo, get it so wrong for so many years? So anyway, this is a great alternative to the Pro Controller. It's just a much cheaper option. Like I said, if you're planning on getting it, if you like the artwork, and there's some great artwork. That's what drew me to this controller more than anything else. The Zelda controller is just, it's just great artwork. Him with the bow and arrow. If you don't like Zelda, you could get a Mario themed one from, you know, Super Mario Odyssey. Or you could get a Pokemon one. And you can get Power 8 controllers that are, that have the actual vibration. They have the rumble feature. And, you know, so there are alternatives. You know, but at that point, if you're going to start spending the $50, you might as well just go for an actual full-on Pro controller, unless you really like the designs a lot. But anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at this and really get into it and see what this has to offer. So, like I said, this is a Super Nintendo controller. It really draws me in, just looking at it. And here you go, like right here off the bat. Okay, nicely packaged plastic covering right here. And it's like you open it, it's right there. I didn't expect that. So this is a Bluetooth controller. It says that when you charge it, you only have to charge it for 1 to 2 hours to get 16 hours of playtime out of it. And here we go right here. The thumbsticks feel really nice. I'm going to tell you something right away. These feel so much better than that Power 8 controller, like right off the bat. The buttons, I'm not taking the plastic off just yet, but they feel good. They feel pretty much like the Super Nintendo one. The D-pad feels almost the same. Now, the start and select feel like they're a bit more raised up, but that's actually a good thing. Oh, this is going to be a great controller. I can tell you that right now. You would never think, and they squeeze like the home buttons on here and the snapshot button, so they've got everything on here. Like, there's no reason to go back to this. For someone who plays a lot of platformers, like I wish when I was playing Celeste and like other games like Undertale and Crash Bandicoot, I had this controller because these analog sticks and this D-pad, this is made for the Switch. The Switch is a system that brings together the retro and the new. So this is just excellent. It feels very good. Like right away, like when you get this out of the box, you're gonna feel that there's quality here in your hands, that you're holding on to something that's they've actually put time and effort into. Not that they didn't with that controller. You know, they managed to do whatever they could, you know, given the budget that they were working with. And so they give you a little USB cable. This is very tiny. I guess you could play with it plugged in. But with this one, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be playing with it wirelessly. Now, I've had very bad experiences like with Xbox controllers and stuff. The battery just does not last on those bad boys. I have to keep playing with them plugged in all the time. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just got some bad ones, but you know, they work plugged in, so that would indicate that the battery pack is still working, I guess, or I don't know. But it's nice to know that you know, this is very promising. There's good reviews. It feels like it's a good controller. It will probably be really good. And to be able to play the newer systems with an old school controller, like, and it just feels so right having these thumbsticks on here. Like, you wouldn't think on the Super Nintendo controller, like, thumbsticks, like, it just, you know, if you didn't have all these different advances and all these third parties coming out, then which, by the way, I didn't even mention, the PowerA is a third-party Nintendo controller. They're contracted. This one is completely third-party. It's not Nintendo-approved, but it's probably the best third-party controller of all time. I've had some big-time nightmares of third-party controls. I only had one, and that was back in the N64 days. And I remember when I bought the controller, I forget, I think it might have been like Nyko or something like that, one of those brands. Brought it home, and like the controller right away was like defective, like moments later. I remember like playing GoldenEye, and the character was just spinning around, like the analog stick was just you know, not responding properly, like involuntary movement. So right away I like swore off third-party controllers for like eternity until now, and I'm so happy that they've got something like this for the Switch, which is going to make playing the Switch is so much more enjoyable. Like you know, forget about like the great games that it already has. If the Switch can make me look forward to having a you know, a great experience, like be excited to actually hold and play the games with this, that just, if you could add something already onto a already great experience, you know you've really succeeded with a great accessory. And this is a very vital accessory. It's a controller. It's pretty much what makes you move in the game and perform well, and so, you know, it's really vital to get something good like this. And you know, it's money well spent. It's not that expensive when you really think about it. This is $25 less than a Pro controller, and it's just, it has a better D-pad. There's less meat to it, so unless you really like something big and beefy in your hands, hey, you know, you know, take that for what you will, but you know, this is the way to go, I think. So I'm gonna let you guys know what I think about it, playing with it. Seems like the first game I'm going to be playing with this is going to be Shantae, which I'm like more than like 3/4 of the way through with. So I'm going to finish the game up with this controller, and I'll let you guys know in a future video what I think of it. So thank you all for watching, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the unboxing, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos, and guys, I'll see you next time.